And inhale. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Can everybody else talk or not mute? Continue. So we can do that together. Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, that's good.
Okay.
Honey Munder. Okay. Inhale. Om Namo Gurudev On Guru
Jot Siri
long deep breath. Good. And Japa Saraswati, can you put the chat for us?
Sure. Okay. Can you see it? You want me to read it?
Yes, please.
For this day, Baba Siri Chand asked that each of you come up with one personal question for Baba Siri Chand and then listen to his answer. To begin, after we tune in, then ask your own question for Baba Siri Chand. Take 2 to 3 minutes for your own question and write it in the chat. Then each of us will be able to see everyone's fairly quick question. Then meditate to get to Baba Siri Chand's each answer from your own question. 1 minute of heart pumping, 4 minutes of heart breath. Then listen from each of us to hear Baba Siri Chand's answer. Do we understand? So we're going to come up with our own question. We're going to listen for our question from Baba. And then we're going to write it in the chat. And then we'll do 1 minute of heart pumping and 4 minutes of heart breath to hear our answer. Are we all on board?
Yeah, the first thing is you're going to get your question.
Okay.
So think of that, be able for that, and I am timing.
Hey.
If I want to write a response, which icon do I use to? I've never done it here.
Write a response to what?
They asked me a question. They said, print in your answer.
Go to chat. It's at the bottom of the.
Let the collaboration.
Thank you. I hear you. I appreciate that.
Okay. Do you all put your question there? And we have seen from Huddy Munder is Silent Angel today. But good. How this is Aagia Pal. How can I have the courage to know how to carry out my service in love, knowing that it will require service, sacrifice. Japa Saraswati, how to navigate, how to go and how to proceed, which direction. Sahej, what is the path to physical healing and healing of grief? Jot Gian Devi, greetings. Is the new Pope a positive figurehead for these shifting times? Gian Das Prem, as a group, how are we moving forward so far with our trust in nature and humanity? Ved Bachan, what actions, inner and outer, are needed to create stability and a new foundation through love at this time? Well, how wonderful. Okay, so this will be great for Baba Siri Chand. Okay, now we have, what is that? Pumping heart breath for 1 minute, and then after that we will have regular heart breath for 4 minutes. So now begin for 1 minute for the heart breath, heart pumping, and begin. And now continue for 4 minutes and begin. listen for your question for Baba Siri Chand. Inhale. Exhale. And breathe. Okay. Continue heart breath. Excuse me. And Sun City has come here.
Vietnam.
Have you uh,
I just put the cue in the chat, Set City. If
Thank
you
you, dear.
tune
Thank you.
in and read it, it's personal questions from Baba.
Okay.
And
Thank
then
you.
write it in the chat so we can see it.
Okay.
hey,
Thanks. Chat.
Okay, so now Hudi Munder, she's going to be a silent angel today. God bless you, dear. Just say howdy or sat nam, or maybe just silent. Okay. Okay, the first thing is Aagia Pal. Would you um would you talk about your uh your question first?
Sure.
Thank you.
So my question is about having the how do I have the courage, to carry out service and loving service, knowing that it will require sacrifice. So I asked Baba, because lately I've been just bitching and moaning about everything I read about Joan of Arc and the Marianne Edgar Budd's book, How to Be Brave, and Martin Luther King, and everybody who makes who everybody who is of loving service has to, or it seems, make huge sacrifices, right? So it's and so I said to Baba, I just, this has been a major roadblock for me. It's like, I'm sure I would love to help you, but it's the but. And am I ready to let go of such and blah 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 and so forth? And so he gave me a tutorial on sacrifice. And what I feel just so much better. What he explained to me about sacrifice is I look at, from my perspective, it's the perspective, what I've been looking at is the everyday self perspective, that I'm going to lose something. I will have to give up something, something that I rebel against, something I'll have to reject, etc. And what he
Last thing?
and something that, things that I will have to reject or even rebel against, and put my whole self into it. So what he says is that sacrifice, when I do something for someone else out of love, it pulls the Velcro of everyday self away from what I'm doing. And I'm in a pure state of grace, of love. And in that state, there is no such thing as sacrifice. Because so I'm in a flow of love, and it's a flow of selfless service. I would be in soul at that point. So he says to always remember when, because I'm prone to going back, like an elastic band, to go back and to be to say, oh, this is sacrifice, that's too much for me. But if you want to use me, soul, and I can help, then that's. But no, he's saying to me, it's like he shows me a gas pump. He shows me actually a plug-in for an electric vehicle. So I have to stay much closer to soul and ask for to be able to ingest or metabolize much more love. And as I'm doing that, that gives me the courage to, pull away, and helps to pull away that Velcro of everyday self, which looks at things from, looks at things as sacrifice that I'm giving up. But no, once I can pull away from that in selfless service, then it's my actions, through love are perfected. And that, I don't, just like Joan of Arc, just like Martin Luther King, just like people that are standing up now to power, speaking truth to power. It's like we don't have that pull back from everyday self anymore. So anyway, I hope I'm explaining this. But anyway, this is that was the lesson, the tutorial from Baba, that, once I begin to just function in love, then what I do and what the selfless service is no longer, I don't feel it a sacrifice anymore. It's just who I am, what I need to be, who I need to be, and what I need to do. So, but that really freed me. That really helped me. So that now I just need to ask to be filled even more with love. So, I'm grateful. I'm grateful for my question, and I'm very grateful for Baba's tutorial.
Isn't that wonderful?
Yeah.
And we all have the same.
It's huge. It's huge for me. That's very huge for me.
That's so good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So next, Japa Saraswati. Is that okay?
Yes, I can go.
Okay.
I had the feeling it was me. I felt Baba tap me on the shoulder. So
Okay.
I asked how to navigate, where to go, and how to proceed. And the first things I heard was not by sight, but by faith. So just recently, I heard about a study done. I was just saying this to Gian Das Prem about spiders, that spiders, when you disturb their web, they have a neurological reaction, almost like a seizure. And what the study found was that they have more sensory perception outside of their body than they actually have inside of their body, that web is part of their sensory universe. And I have the same sense of myself with my extraordinarily long hair, that I was in yoga last night, and I was at the end of the class, I took my hair out of, like, I have a little bobble on the top of my head, and I let it down for Savasana so that my hair could be part of my sensory experience. And also, I taught a yoga class on Sunday, which this is the first time that I've taught since 2018. And I kept on telling everybody, reminding us to, as we were sweeping our sensory bubbles, sweeping our electromagnetic field. So I bring that back to being led by faith, but not by sight. My feeling is that my faith is also part of this sensory field around me, that there are ways that I'm getting information that I can't possibly be aware of. And it's because of esoteric practices, lifelong esoteric practices, that I've built these invisible conduits of information, that the universe is going to give me promptings to go in this direction or to that direction. And then another word that I heard was rudderless, and almost that I'm not rudderless, and then I realized the stairs that the construction workers are replacing today. The bottom stair is a gigantic rudder. My dad got it off of he used to go to Portland and salvage garbage. And this was one of the wonderful pieces of garbage that he salvaged, was this huge rudder that makes up the bottom stair of the stairs. And it occurs to me that this rudder has been kind of stuck in the sand or stuck in the mud for an awfully long time. And that the guys are literally right now, as I've been out of the house, they're lifting up this rudder. And I suddenly realize, just that I'm totally not rudderless. I even have a rudder. And also for how to navigate and where to go and how to proceed. The high road, I heard from Baba, and the way to also, part of the ways to reinforce being on the high road for me is chanting, with my name being Japa. I'm just always so much more aligned when I am chanting. And what Baba showed me is that would magnetize me to the experiences, just make it easier, that I will magnetically be drawn to the high road and be drawn to this, to that energy. And then also, the message that I got was teaching yoga. So I was subbing this class last week or on Sunday, and my friend Amy moved away from Maine recently, and I'm not spending as much time at the ashram any longer. So I don't really have people to talk about esoteric yoga with, and that's been a bummer for me. And then I got paid for this class on Sunday, where I got to talk about esoteric yoga. And the feeling that I got, the message from Baba, is that I need to do more of that, where I need to get paid for talking about esoteric yoga.
Oh,
Because
wow.
I know I just need to teach more yoga. And that so like in triangle pose, there's this wonderful Goethe quote that basically says, whenever, it's translated from German, so I'm paraphrasing a little bit, but it says that whenever I reach to God, I feel God reaching back to me. And when we're in triangle pose especially, but like all of the poses where we might feel wobbly, the big trick, the big key is to reach upward, and it takes your center of gravity up, and then suddenly you become that much more stable. Like you're suddenly reaching up, and even if you do fall because your center of gravity is too forward or back, whatever, it's going to be so much more graceful. And I guess that's the feeling that I have with God, is that reaching upward and trusting that God will reach back to support me, that I will have that support. And it's one of those messages that I can use both on the mat and off the mat. And I feel like my practice is just so ever developing and growing, which it's such a tremendous gift. I feel that I was learning yoga with Baba when we were young. I feel it that Baba and I have done this for lifetimes before, and I don't know how else to explain it, but it feels like tapping back into that primal, old source, original energy.
Mm.
Yeah.
Isn't that amazing?
It's fantastic. Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, now I just have another answer for you
Yeah.
from uh from Baba Siri Chand.
Okay.
So you were talking about the electromagnetic,
Field.
yes, and that would simply move you where and what you're doing. Now, question is, can other people do that with you, with us?
Can other people interact with our field?
Yes,
Yes.
and the way you're talking.
I think so. We can sweep it. I've felt Baba adjust my field. There was a time that this happened a couple of times, or it happened 2 nights in a row, that I felt Baba come over my bed while I was asleep and I was laying flat on my back, and it almost felt like he did Reiki over me. And it felt like afterwards that my meridians were realigned, but I could tell that what he had done was also he had adjusted my karma. And I don't know exactly how that works. It's just something
Wow.
magic that Baba did one time. But also we can do that. I find that like I used to be really sparkly, in this way that everybody wanted to be around me um because of the way that I looked and because of the sparkle that I had, which part of that was extreme austerity, so people love starvation. um but I found that, and I was teaching a lot of yoga, so I looked like very yoga teachery, and students really wanted to be around me. I felt because they thought that they could that they hoped that some of that austerity would rub off on them, was almost what it felt like. But I find that part of what that austerity is a sadhana and a really concerted applied practice. So there are monks, for example, I've told you guys about it before, the sarira, that are the deposits left, they're crystalline or pearlescent deposits inside of the liver and kidneys of monks who are praying all the time, and that these things then have they're found in the cremains of these people, and then they're not only venerated like a relic, but when you're around them, they have the presence of that monk, that crystalline deposit has the is imbued with the austerity. And the people, like Siri Gian, when we did our phone call last week about the transcription, I was driving on the highway and my car had recently started to make a problem with the brakes. So when I stuck on the brakes on the highway, they made like just a bad noise. And I was getting really anxious driving because I knew that I had to get up to Maine, or it wasn't a good time for me to stop on the highway. And when we were on the phone, I could feel your electromagnetic field immediately calming me and reminding me that that like I was fine, I wasn't in danger, that I was going to get there okay. And and it's the same thing with the monks with the sarira. When people go, sometimes these sarira, they ask them to do miracles, like if somebody's dying or a child needs healing, you can pay for an audience with these relics, with the hopes that they heal you of your ailment. And it's the weight of this austerity that not just the weight of it, but it affects people, like another time, I heard a holy man speak and I could feel him communicating with our electromagnetic fields, um, like a half hour before before he arrived into the room. I could feel all of our ancestors who had come to hear this holy man speak. And so there are ways that our electromagnetic field, or our practice, like I could feel it in practice last night, I have kind of a sophisticated practice, and this tall, lanky, tattooed, covered guy across from me, and I can feel how my presence affects that room, the way that we practice together, you know?
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, this is great. Well,
Mm-hmm.
thank you, dear.
Thanks.
Yeah. Now, I want to tell you all, we need more time. Is
Mm.
this okay for anybody that doesn't have their time?
I'm good.
Huh?
I can do it. I'm okay. This is Jot Gian Devi.
Works
Okay,
for me.
okay. So let's see, Jot Gian Devi. Okay, go talk about your question.
Okay. I asked Baba, is the new Pope a positive figurehead for this shifting time? And I was so surprised how to hear his answer. It was very clear. That was exciting for me. The answer was, we will move as a global unit into the new reality. Leaders will be clearly seen as leaders of light, and we will know what leadership will bring us into wholeness.
Wow.
Yeah, I thought that was really, instead of a whole bunch of divisions, are we really going to unite? Is it? I guess we are. Sounds like unity to me.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah, I was excited. Yeah.
Okay. Do you know, let's see, what's his name? The Lama? What's that name?
Oh, the Dalai Lama, you mean?
Yes. And, you know, he normally will be the same person each in lifetimes over and over. But he said that not necessarily to be the same uh, self, each one. He said it's more like the other people are finding that to decide that your next, how do you say, the next leader with Tibetan leaders. Do you understand that? Jot Gian Devi?
Yeah, I thought I lost you there. Okay. Isn't that interesting? So the pattern will change, but they'll still have a leader of how
Yes,
that's required. The law that they have gone by might shift and change.
yes,
Isn't that interesting?
because our leaders are all of us together, I believe. Isn't that what you
Yes,
said?
there's a global, first of all, I'm only hearing what I heard. As far as it makes sense to me, we will move as a global unit. Isn't that powerful if we really became a united humanity? I don't know how that works, but I'm just going to go for it. So it says, move as a global unit into the new reality. And couldn't it just so be true? Leaders will be clearly seen as leaders of light, and we will know what leadership will bring us to wholeness. But isn't that what the other answers have also been? We're going to know. I think we're just going to be following our intuitions a lot more.
Yes, exactly. Isn't
That's
that
intriguing. I think it's, and then once again, I'm glad you mentioned the Tibetan focus, and because it's global, we're not going to be divided up, I
amazing?
think. So I don't know how it's going to look, but I'm curious how it's fallen together. I'm watching.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
So be sure that we're all together.
Mhm. Yeah.
So begin to feel not just plain soul. I shouldn't, that's not what I'm saying. Just one plane. No, but we are together as soul.
Yes, a unit.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Isn't it amazing?
Yeah,
And
and I think we come to maybe even the work that you've brought to us, that we have the ability to start recognizing that.
yes,
Mhm.
okay. I'm writing that down. Okay,
Mhm.
that's wonderful. And Jot Gian Devi,
Yeah.
last week, Japa Saraswati was able to see how we Japa Saraswati, can you talk about that just quickly? It's not translating, but
About the transcription?
yes, please.
Okay, so you'll go to the YouTube and I'll send a link, and in the description box there will be numbered timestamps that are in blue. You can click the blue numbers and it'll take you directly to that part of the video. So I usually separate them by speaker. And then beneath that, once you get to say you want to hear Jot Gian Devi once again, you can adjust the speed so you can go faster or slower. And then there's a box that says show transcription, and it'll give you a running transcript of what's going on. And then if you wanted to copy just the part, say like from minute 3 to minute 5, you would just copy that text with your cursor. And then you would paste it into a document, and then you have the transcript of what we're saying.
Oh, interesting. Okay, I'll do that.
It's a super great resource. You can also listen to it faster or rewind, however suits you.
Yeah, Jot Gian, I think it was Jot Gian Devi. Who was that? Oh gosh, I can't remember. Mentioned that last week's session was really good, so I wanted to go back and listen. I will.
Yes.
Yes. Oh, Ved Bachan says she has to leave at 12:55. Can we scoot Ved in? I misread what it said before. I'm sorry about that.
What?
Ved Bachan has to leave very soon. Can we hear from her quickly because she's pressed for time?
Oh, is that Ved Bachan?
Yes, and she sent the message and I misread it. I saw it. I thought that it said 1:15. So can we please scoot her in?
Of course. Okay. So now your question. What was your question?
My question was about creating stability through love, like inner and outer actions to do that. And Baba was sharing about the cycles, so like the cycles of the moon, the cycles of the season, externally, but also the internal cycles, particularly for me, like with my menstrual cycle even, but paying attention to those and flowing with the energy. So giving space for the waxing and waning and not resisting. Like if I don't have energy, not like pushing myself, but actually resting to replenish. And when I have energy, to flow from soul, and listen, how to use that energy. And he was showing me this, like, physically, on a physical level, to feel like rooted and grounded, to really like press my sit bones down and be long in the spine. And he was focusing on showing me like Jalandhar Band, and breathing down into my pelvis, talking about like the pelvis being the foundation. So feeling it, moving from the pelvis when I am like walking or doing anything. And the other thing he showed was to do, because I do a lot of the third eye focus, but he actually was showing me to do the focus at the chin, down at the chin.
CHIN?
CHIN, yes.
Okay.
Um,
Oh, yes, for your moon center, isn't that right?
yeah, I think it's also for like, it supports emotional balance and regulation. But yeah, I think it's a moon center too. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He was saying too, not be afraid to speak and share from my soul, and also to share my gifts and to take risks with that. So like being fearless, and having my ears open and eyes open to bring what's needed, where specifically where it's needed. Waiting for guidance in the external, not moving just from my mind, but really like waiting in that place of center, like he was showing me, until I hear something, like an action to take. He was saying to flow flow on the wings of love. Also like relaxing my jaw and smiling to the organs. So Mantak Chia does, like, he guides people in this whole, like, where you're smiling to each and every organ, to the systems of the body, to the bones, and what a immense impact that has internally, but then also like externally smiling to others, you know, through that contact. The eye contact and the smile can really like exchange positive energy. And what he was saying is that what I'm showing you is to be how to be a clear channel, and that will create stability, being hollow and being empty with an open heart.
Okay.
There was a lot of information that he shared. I'm really grateful.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you, dear.
Mhm.
And I'm glad that that you were be able to be here.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I'll tune back into the recording to hear everyone else's shares.
Okay. That sounds good.
Thank you so much.
Okay. So I believe we're on Sahej.
Everybody. My question was, I'll have to read it because I can't remember. I named it something about what is the path to physical healing and healing of grief. This was a very interesting one for me because, um, well, for a number of reasons, but it started out just showing me heat, like warmth around my belly and that like sort of core area. And like I thought of Kitchery and like, oh, I haven't made that in a while. But it was more not even just the physical thing of it. It was more like, what is easy on my body, you know, like, um, this was like a kaleidoscope of things. So, and also seeing the whole thing with the heat. It's like, yeah, I'm in a cold, damp climate. It's been an inordinately cold spring, if you could call it that. Like I just looked at the weather and it says feels like 37 degrees, and I can confirm it does.
Oh my.
And that's been consistent. I mean, and it might be getting up to 50 degrees, but it doesn't feel like it.
Mhm.
So part of it was like, maybe physically, needing the sun. I need the sun. I need the heat. I need my. And I can see that my body's contracting around the cold and damp, and that is physical, and there's an energetic to it too. That the thing that internally feels like that, I'm contracting around. Well, what was really interesting to me was when Aagia Pal was speaking. Oh, no. Okay. So while this was happening, I was having these sort of like intruding thoughts about something, a conflict with my sisters. I'm calling it a conflict because whatever. Um, and I was noticing, and I was like, kind of saying to that thought, like, get out of here. I'm trying to do a thing here. And then I realized, oh, well, this is part of what you're being shown is this. um, I had a question in my own mind about how to deal with uh, sort of a paltry gesture from one of my sisters in response to my son's death.
Mm.
And it both enraged and depressed me. And I could see that what was happening is that I was just giving up. It's like these people are so horrifying and so outrageous, and they're in their own reality. I just don't have the juice to deal with this. But the thing is, if I want to heal myself, I need to find a way to deal with that. I am not 100%
For what?
certain. I'm getting a little, I don't want to go into the weeds here. It has a lot. Okay, so then this will make more sense, maybe. This part of it will make more sense. Aagia Pal was speaking, and I kept seeing this scene from a movie called Thunderheart, which, if you haven't seen it, it's absolutely brilliant. It's came out in 1992, and it is a fictionalized account of real things that were happening on the 70s and the reservations and the things that uh, the conflicts, the FBI going in and killing people and, all kinds of horrible stuff. But there's this speech so John Trudell is in it. If you don't know who John Trudell is, look him up. You should know. If you want to know about history, he is an actor in this movie, but I've always been thunderstruck by his performance because he is in essence, if you know his story, he is in essence playing himself. And there's a moment where the FBI are after him, and they've absolutely set him up. And they're going to come in and they're going to, they framed him, they're going to come in and they're going to take him. And there's another character who's played by Val Kilmer brilliantly, who is kind of in search of his own identity. Watch the movie. There's no time to explain it, but he comes to this John Trudell's character and he says, like, you got to get out of here. Like, and he said, and then John Trudell comes back and he says, I belong here. And he said, they're going to kill you. And he says, and this is the thing that every time I hear it, I just, and this is when Aagia Pal was speaking about bravery and stuff. And just, he says, sometimes they have to kill us. They have to kill us because they can't break our spirit.
Wow.
And then he says, it's a power. We choose to be who we are. We know the difference between the reality of freedom and the illusion of freedom. There's a way to live with Earth and a way not to live with Earth. We choose the way of Earth. It's about power. And that is so electrifying to me. And I really encourage everybody, especially if you feel like afraid about standing up and what's going to happen and all those things. I don't know if you'll have the experience I had, but for me, knowing his backstory, knowing everything he went through, and then watching him do that as a performance, when he's looking into the camera and saying those things, it's real. It's not acting.
Tell me the name of that movie.
It's called Thunderheart.
Thunderheart.
Yeah. It's got John Trudell, Graham Greene. Oh my gosh. Val Kilmer. Just it's Sam Shepard. It's brilliantly cast. The script is amazing, but that section right there, I will actually there's a YouTube video. I'll put it in the chat. I'll put it in the not the Zoom chat, but I'll put it in the other chat if you want to watch that clip.
Okay.
It's like that kept coming up for me. And at first I thought it was in response to what Aagia Pal was talking about, and in essence it is, but also it was showing me that the answer to my question for myself is like, it is a power deal. Get that power back.
Mm-hmm.
You know, claim I do belong here, and it is a power deal. And I choose to be who I am. And I need to stand behind that and stand up to that, and especially in the context of what I referred to earlier.
You want to listen?
Pardon me? Somebody's got their Gian Das Prem. Your mic is hot. Gian Das Prem, your mic is hot. You might want to mute.
Okay.
Okay, I think that's me.
Thank you, dear. That's great. Okay, now, are you going to do that today?
Yep, I'm going to do that right now. I already have it. I already sent it to Aagia Pal, so I'll put it in the group chat.
Perfect. Okay. Thank you so much. And maybe have what do you call it? A hot room? How do you call that?
Sauna.
Sauna. Thank you. That sounds wonderful.
Yes, good idea.
I think called Sweat Lodge.
Good. Thank you. That'll be wonderful. Okay, so now we are for Gian Das Prem. Isn't that true?
Satnam.
Ba-bam.
Yes, so I was asking, how are we doing through nature? I'm actually on safe driving mode now, so I can't read the question, but I was given an answer, and it was visual at first, and it was a energy globe, and it has bands of energy moving around it. And what I'm being told through Source and through Baba Siri Chand is the waves of energy have always been here throughout time. And the mixture of the energy and the elements is what allows us to be where we are now, and moving forward with that through the people around us is almost like going through a crowd, in the sense of when we're packed so close together, we can have that feeling of discomfort, or we can have a feeling of comfort, depending on where we are physically and mentally. And that we've been working at this for a long time. With the continuation of the practice, there is a result. And that staying in the practice is really important. And what I wrote down was equator-ness.
Say it again.
Is the equator, like the equator, how the equator is on the ball of the globe, or the orb of the globe, how the equator holds the energy of the balance. basically of the earth, but that the climate is nearly the same all the time from where the energy is collected. And that energy is moving all around that. And the word hyperbole came through, I think, or hyperbole or hyperbole or so, and what he wants me to do is notice the difference between braiding and scribing and the languages that are involved in the braiding and scribing, and who is the writer and who is the dictator, or who's doing the dictation, who's doing the writing, and how is the communication coming through the two of them. And I can see back in the nursery school of passing around the information through the ears in the circle. And another thing that he wanted to remind me of was how vibration is put onto wax through metal, and it's put onto plastic, and can be stored for years. The energy of the voice stays on the element of the plastic, which really requires no energy other than you could play it. There are other ways you could play it. So anyway, he wants me to go back and he wants me to look into the vibe of the speaking channels and look at the waves of energy, the actual waves of energy, the colors. So go into the, from the beta. So go back into that and see where the correlations of the colors and the numbers and the shapes and how that's working out. To be open to all choosing between caring, daring, and sharing, and allowing the intuition to teach when we're learning, and to try to stay in that, to stay in love, and to notice our actions as a result of what we're doing with the energy that's coming and going through all the items that we're dealing with. Yeah, and to try to stay within that noticing of the physical body being a part of the manifestation of the mental, and the reminder through that can be numbers, measurement, and transfers of information. Yeah, and really back into the studies of how a mantra can give its answer through the mantra without knowing the result. Like, so if I sing a song and I come up with my thought after the song, that can also be something that I am transcribing into the channels of information that are allowed to travel. And then noticing the actual information that we're using within that inherent knowledge to put it into wires and for our construction. And that is going back into the braiding and the weaving, braiding of the sweetgrass. I've been sleeping on it under my pillow, and I'll start reading it soon. And the going back to the history and noticing how much of the history our children are learning now, and going back to that, noticing of who are the people running, into the fire and whatnot, that they weren't looking for to get something. They were going in with their soul, in a sense. So if we can come into our soul a little bit more, we can share that love a little more easier. Yeah. And being in the Wahe Guru of that discovery while we're at that, exercising our voice through the chakras to open up the systems to allow the energy to flow a little bit more freely. Yeah. And noticing, the earth and the items that were put here for us to use, and the truth, the veritas, right? So, and noticing the institutions that are coming from that, the truth of learning through nature, the vibration of allowing us to create, and being able to say I love you to any person. Why?
Thank you, dear. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I love you, people.
Okay. And there is Sun City. Sun City. Okay, Sun City is.
Satnam, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, great. I've been missing in action.
Yes, we've seen that.
MIA, AWOL.
Yeah.
I've had such a I'm so happy to be here, and any feedback anyone can give me on what's been happening would be much appreciated. But out of the blue, a medicine that I've been taking for years had a side effect that I didn't realize was out there to know, but I never knew it. And what the side effect is that this particular antidepressant, which I've taken for many years, had the side effect kicked in. And what that was is that the brain, under taking this medicine, the transfer of short-term memory could not go into long memory, which basically meant I had no memory.
And no what?
No memory at all.
None?
None. No memory. And it was really challenging because I wouldn't know what day it was. I wouldn't know what time it was. And I just had to surrender that this was a spiritual opportunity.
Wow.
So I'm still, my memory is not fully restored. And what it did, it just took away my identity, what was built on previous experiences. And it's still not restored, but I got help, professional help with how to handle it's not having memory, long-term memory, but I had present memory. And basically I had to like get a special calendar that everything that I was supposed to do had to be written down. And I just had to like admit to people I couldn't remember. And it was hard to talk about because it scared people.
Oh, yeah. And for you too. And so what happened finally?
Well, it's still happening, but I learned how to just be in the present moment and record the present moment. Like, okay, I agreed that I would be on this meeting at noon on Wednesdays. I just had to write it down and then look at it. So it's very challenging to live without the past or long-term memory, or having what is going on now be transferred into long-term memory. So one of the questions I asked Baba Siri Chand is, okay, I see the psychiatrist tomorrow, and I'm like, get me off this medicine. But the psychiatrist is like, I really can't. You have to tighter off of this. This is really heavy duty. And I was hospitalized in a wonderful unit called the critical care unit, which was basically like being in a hotel. And I mentioned last time it was like wonderful Ugandan women cooking for us, and then these incredible 7-foot tall Ugandan nurses, black African men. So it's a process. I'm just trying to celebrate it as a spiritual gift
Wow.
because it's really challenging, and it's changing my whole perspective on spirituality, etc. So, the first question I asked Baba Siri Chand was, "Can I just get off this medicine?" And would acupuncture help? Because I never had these problems when I was doing acupuncture along with my treatment with EMDR, which brings up memory.
Too.
Pardon? Pardon? I didn't catch that. Gian Prem? Okay, can you guys hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, perfectly.
Okay.
So, Baba Siri Chand said, yes, go back to acupuncture and that will really help you get off this medicine. And it's like a whole reorientation. It's like really learning how to live in the moment and knowing that I wouldn't remember it, and I just have to be totally aware and alert to the next moment. So it's a bizarre thing, and if you get any information about what's going on, luckily I have a job where I do gardening, so it's all in the moment. So suddenly I got all these really nice private jobs, because in the dahlia farm that I work on and the public gardens in Holliston, Massachusetts, we're in a lull, and I just don't know what else to say, except I'm confident. I'm not afraid, even, even though it's really, um, I really feel like God and Guru, this is a gift, and it's a very profound kind of spiritual transformation. It's an exercise. It's in the present. It's not like thinking about it or meditating on it. It's like responding moment to moment in everyday life. So, and that's why I've been MIA. Because most of the time I didn't know what day it was. And even if I wrote it down, I wouldn't remember. I would forget to look. I couldn't remember to look. So if you have any guidance, or, yeah, very challenging, but it's all good. It's really
Wow.
pushed me in. What I got, and then my next question was, okay, Guru Ram Das, Yogi Ji, Spirit, what am I supposed to be doing? And it's like, no, we want you to garden, and we want you to take plants. So I got all jobs coming up where I help people transform their yards into native habitats. So, because I really can't do anything else, and it's good. So I hope
What a
this is.
difference an attitude makes. Look at you. Honest to God. I mean, you could take it two different ways and you just went way up high. I can't believe it.
It's very challenging.
I believe it, and I'm impressed.
I am so impressed. I agree. You
don't
need
think
to
I
tell everybody.
I don't have any. There's no other choice. That's how, you know what I mean? It is what it is, and either I accept it and go with it and have faith. I guess I'm a hard ass, and good, and God and Guru were like, boy, we really got to wake you up, get you off your track, so we can get you on another one much better.
Wow. Oh, talk about following spirit. You're doing it.
Oh, thank you for the encouragement. Thank you so much.
Jot City, this
Yes.
is Aagia Pal. I just got something from Soul. And
Yeah.
what I heard was what you said, that, the short term doesn't go into the long term. Soul's
Yep.
telling me everything is there. Everything is recorded in long term. Everything. And your work is simply to learn whatever tools that Soul gives you, or whomever will give you, to open that up again and access it. So
Okay. So
that's what I got.
can I just say, if I understand it, is that actually there's a recording, but I know because I finally read all the, what do they call it? The side effects.
Yeah.
And it was, oh my goodness, it's really happening. So you're saying the memory is actually there, but I just can't see it or feel
Right.
it.
It's just like Japa Saraswati is doing a transcript for us, sort of. And the idea is, yes, it's all there. Your experiences are all there, Soul says. And it's a matter of, working on tools to connect, build the bridges and get get access to that. That's all.
And it's what I thought is I have another message I got today was go back to 1 minute breath meditation, which I did for like at least an hour every day for many decades.
Perfect.
And Sat Kriya. So that's what I got.
Perfect.
Wow.
Do you think that'll work?
Yeah.
Do
Yeah.
you?
Try it. Try it.
That's
I'm
the
gonna
key.
try it. I'm gonna try it.
Yeah.
And, yeah, and if you don't mind, frequent, reminders are really helpful. And I really appreciate Japa Saraswati that you send that link because I see it's like, oh, today, noon. And then I put up notes to remind myself. So I'm so happy to be here. It was very lonely not being with you guys for 2 weeks. I think I missed 2 weeks. But yeah, that was the other question I had asked, which is, Guru, where do you want me to be? What should I be doing? I can't do what I was planning to do. I can't do what I used to do. Can't teach. And this whole native gardening, which is really incredible here. So it's right up the street. The native plant, it's just fantastic here. So people are longing to make this transition and really help the earth. And I get to be part of that.
Wow.
I do.
Hi, Guru.
Isn't that great?
Yeah.
Thank you so much,
Okay.
everybody.
I love each of you so much, and I'm so happy to be here. I'm giving you a big spiritual hug. Thank
Now
you.
I'm taking it. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Isn't that lovely for what's happening with
Yeah.
the energies and soul, or what do you call our cosmic siblings? Yeah,
Yes.
all of us, the whole thing. So this is, if we go really terrible things, and what we're seeing is then changing, transformation
Mhm.
with this best thing that's happening. Okay. God bless you all.
Can I just add that
Yes.
one of the messages I got was, you want out of your depression, you want out of your trauma, generational trauma, you want out of all that, and we can change the DNA right now. We can change it.
Wow.
And it's like, here's what we're going to do. You're going to have no memory. So you have to live in the present moment.
There you go. How about that? Okay.
So be careful what you ask for, because God will deliver.
So funny. Okay. Because Buddhists say, be now, right?
All right. Yeah.
Mhm. Okay. Okay. So, Harimandir, can you sing for us?
Oh, please.
Harimandir? Maybe that was not a good idea. Okay, so,
Yeah, and
what?
yes, I can do it. I had to figure out how to unmute.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, here we go.
Inhale deeply. May long time
sunshine
all
all love surround you,
and
and the
pure light
pure
will
light within
guide your way
on.
guide your
Your way on,
guide your
guide your
way.
way.
Inhale. Love you all.
Love you all.
Love you all. Good night.
Bye.
No.
God
Thanks,
bless you.
Love, love, love.